Hey guys, hope you're doing well. This is going to be the most diabolical stories that you've ever come across, so lock in. I, 35 male, cheated on my wife, 36 female. She left without telling me anything. How can I get her back? I know I am aware of my faults. I know I screwed up. She and I had something beautiful. She is still the love of my life. We were together for 10 years, 2 dating and 8 married. But I made a huge mistake and cheated on her. It was just once, just one damn time. Somehow she found out. I never knew how, because I haven't been able to talk to her since then. I guess she found something on my phone. I came home that afternoon as usual, and everything felt weird. The house felt emptier. I quickly realized that her things were gone. I panicked. I started calling her over and over, but her phone didn't even ring. Suddenly, I saw some papers on the table. She was divorcing me. Under the divorce papers, there was a note that said, "This is what you do with cheaters." That was the last thing I got from her, 2 years ago now. Of course, I called the contact information for her lawyer, who had been the only bridge between us. But he just told me that he was legal representative and that she didn't want to see me. I fought. I got angry. But in the end, her lawyer just told me that it would be better if I got my own lawyer. I didn't want to. I absolutely refused to accept that 10 years of relationship would end like this. I know I have failed, but I always wanted to fix it. I know that if she gave me the chance, I could make that sweet and special girl I met more than 10 years ago fall in love with me again. I know that I can make her forgive me. After all, many couples go through similar things and get over it. Why can't we be one more couple in that statistic? Why after 8 years of marriage am I thrown away like a garbage for a mistake? I don't deserve so much indifference. I haven't been able to see her or even hear her voice in 2 years. 2 years of not being able to see or talk to the person you love the most is too much of a punishment. This situation has destroyed me emotionally, mentally, and even physically. I ended up consuming an unhealthy amount of alcohol, weeks of barely eating, not sleeping. I was a zombie for months. I was just functioning on automatic. But I couldn't let myself die because I always held on to hope that she could come back. My therapist says it's really hard when you can't get closure from a relationship because your mind can't progress that the relationship is over. So you're always thinking that person will knock on the door or that you'll wake up from sleep and they'll be there by your side. The divorce was finally over a year ago. I'll be honest. I didn't make it easy. I didn't want to get divorced. And I still didn't understand how we can be divorced. I asked for couples therapy, but she refused. I know from my lawyer that her lawyer advised her to go at least once or twice, but she refused. It took quite a while, but finally the divorce happened. I can't even describe the feeling I felt and still feel like if a piece of me had been cut out. I know I hurt her. I know I failed. But I think we all deserve a second chance. I mean, what the hell? When I couldn't take the pain anymore, I decided to start therapy. My therapist doesn't give me advice to get her back. He only focuses on me moving on with my life, encouraging me to meet new people and go out on dates. But I don't want to. At this point, I'm not even interested in sex anymore. A few days ago, something that completely shattered me. I was having a few beers with my friends at my house. Let's call him Nick. We were both pretty drunk. I started talking about my wife and he said to me, "You should put more effort into getting over her. She's over you and is happy having a life away from you. You should do the same. You can't live in this self-pity all your life." Something in his words hit me, but not in the way he expected. He spoke with a lot of confidence that my wife is over me and is happy now. How does he know that? At this point, I got angry and started pressuring him to talk. He refused. I pressured as hard as I could. I cried. I begged him to tell me if he knew something. I needed to know something about her until he finally told me his wife has been in contact with my wife for the last year. They were great friends. And I remember Sabrina, my friend's wife, being very sad about losing contact with my wife. The thing is that my wife went to live in Norway, got married to a guy there, and is about 7 months pregnant. I felt like dying. I literally felt like dying with this information. How could she do this to me? How could it be that while I was crying, getting drunk, missing her and wanting to die every day, she was happily on the other side of the world, getting married and getting pregnant by another guy? How could it be that she didn't have a child with me in many years to the point that I thought she was infertile, but she got pregnant by this new guy so easily? Where did this guy come from? I have no answers for absolutely anything, and I feel like I can't go on with my life without these answers. The only thing I can think of is that she had revenge sex with the first Norwegian guy she came across and got pregnant and decided to keep the baby. Maybe she got married because she wanted to stay in that country legally, and I guess like in most countries, getting married is a good option for that. I don't know, these thoughts are killing me. I refuse to think that she's in love with him. I need to contact her. I need to talk to her. I need to know what's going on. Because she acts like a 10-year history and 8-year marriage is nothing to her. Bro, what the hell? Seriously. Like what else do you want her to do? So pathetic. And then he goes on to say that I need advice on how to act. I feel the impulse to travel where she is and look for her, But how could I do that? I don't know what city she's in. I don't know where she lives. I don't have a number to contact her. She closed her social media. Her family is small. They don't live in the same country as me. And all of them blocked me. I'm totally lost. I don't know what to do at this point. I still want her back. Yes, even pregnant. I feel like this is a nightmare and I need to wake up. Definitely a nightmare which you created for yourself. So this fellow goes on to reply to the comments and he says that I thought I might find more empathy by sharing my story here. Just two people feeling empathy towards me and their comment made me feel better. I'm not looking for validation or for someone to say that what I did is okay. I know it's not and I have to live with that daily. Everyone assumes she's happy now. I don't know. I mean, how do you know? I haven't seen her in 2 years. I can't have any idea if she's happier or not. Being pregnant, it doesn't necessarily mean happiness, and being married either. We don't really know the circumstances of this marriage. Maybe she got married because she got pregnant and felt alone in a country where she has no one, and she just hold on to the other guy. Of course, I blame myself for this. This wouldn't have happened if I had been a better person and a better husband to her. But unfortunately, I can't change what I did wrong. The only thing I can do is try to make it up to her. But how do you make it up to someone who doesn't want to give you the chance to do so? Oh my god, the audacity of this guy is crazy. How does he really expect someone to give him a chance after doing something like this? Some people said that she doesn't owe me a second chance. That was hard to read, but I understand that maybe she doesn't have to. Again, he goes on and on ranting about it. Just because I cheated on her doesn't mean I don't love her or that I don't have feelings. I call what I did a mistake because how else would I call it? Maybe how about we take responsibility for it? I thought part of accepting blame is accepting that was my mistake. But everyone here takes those words as if I was trying to twist the situation when that's not the case. You've completely twisted my words. And I think you have completely twisted your mind. So then there's an update. These days have been very strange. At times I feel numb and at others desperate. A lot of things have happened. I want to start by answering something and then I will update. Some people asked why Norway. I don't know exactly, but she's a polyglot. She speaks 6 languages. Many of these languages are connected to cultures that she always liked. She's always been interested in Norwegian culture. She has always been there before, but she is also interested in other cultures and speaks other languages. So for me, that was never an indicator that she might have gone to this country. So then he goes on to say that his friend Nick and Sabrina, that they are two a-holes who watched me suffer for 2 years and decided not to help. They didn't care about my marriage. Why should I care about their marriage? Sabrina could have given me my ex-wife phone number a long time ago, but she decided to prioritize her friendship with my ex instead of helping 2 friends mend their marriage. Meanwhile, no one cared about my feelings. I'm done with them at this point. As you should be, bro. Thank God you left them alone. Regarding to my ex-wife, I've been thinking a lot. She can't just despair. I convinced myself that if I searched hard enough, I could find something related to her. I follow some of her relatives from a fake Instagram account, but I never found anything related to her. I searched a lot, really a lot, and found a name that I had seen before, but that hadn't caught my attention until then. It was a lady with a name that is not typical in the US or my wife's country. She's not American. And a very strange last name. I went to her Instagram profile and she had no pictures or anything, just a small profile picture that you can barely see. I decided to look her up on Facebook and found the same lady with the same profile picture. Only her Facebook profile is quite open. She is indeed a lady from Norway. I checked everything I could on this profile. I was convinced that it had something to do with my wife. How else could a relative of hers have this woman in their friends? I saw a lot of pictures. People, plants, mountains, gardens, lakes, flowers, typical things that an older lady posts. Until I came across a picture where my ex was dressed as a bride hugging a guy. I had to translate the text. The lady was congratulating her son on his wedding. There were a few more pictures, not many. There were even some pictures of my ex family in the wedding pictures. The date of the pictures were from a year ago. A year ago she married this guy? I don't understand. How could it happen so fast? When did she meet him? I honestly thought she got married after she got pregnant, not before. This baffles me even more. I mean, what does bro expect after cheating on someone? And then he's blaming his partner for moving on. Seriously man, grow up. After that I found another picture. It was a group picture and she was far away, but of course I recognized her. The same guy was with his hands on her shoulders hugging her. This picture was from February 2023. To be clear, she left in May 2022. How is she with someone in February 2023? Only 9 months, and she's already in a stable enough relationship that he's introduced her to his family. What the hell is going on? The hell is going on here is that they actually might like each other and respect each other, and they might not cheat like you. I feel like I have even more questions in my head now. I know I shouldn't be upset, but I am. I know I lost her because I was an idiot, but it's hard to get this feeling out of my head right now. Anyways, for those who had imagined this fantasy that my ex is with some kind of Norwegian Chris Hemsworth, let me tell you, it's not like that. This guy is too tall, too blonde, too pale, hair too long, and kind of chunky to be honest. He looks more like the old cartoon of Vikings and is definitely not a Chris Hemsworth. I managed to find his FB profile, but he has almost nothing there. His profile says he's an engineer. An engineer who wears metal band t-shirts at 38? I don't know how to take this because I am an engineer myself, just in a different field. Why would she look for a man with the same profession as me? My wife has always liked heavy metals, which I always found nasty, but I never complained. After all, your partner doesn't have to have the same musical taste as you. I mentioned this because maybe that was the way they connected. She used to connect easily with people who like the same type of music. I don't know, but I honestly look at it and think, where did she get this guy from? I mean, he can definitely do better than this. The pregnancy thing still messes with my head. I try not to think about it. I can't understand it. I'm not infertile like the comments suggest. I've been to the doctor and I know I'm not. But God, it kills me to think that she's going to have another man's child. I don't get it. I feel like this is beyond anything I ever imagined. And no, I'm not going to Norway. I'm not going to try to contact her. I still want to see her and talk to her, but I obviously can't force her to do that. I have too much to deal with right now and too much to talk about in therapy. If by any chance this post reaches my ex, I want you to know that I still love you. You know where to contact me. If by any chance this post reaches the new dude, I want you to know that the only reason you have a chance with this woman is because a big idiot halfway across the world completely ruined it. You most probably met a woman who was probably very broken from her divorce. You took advantage of a situation and trapped her with a baby. You don't know how to play fair. Sabrina and Nick, F you. This is crazy, bro. Let's go to the next story. This is one more story which makes you go like, what are people even trying to do? Seriously. He wants to call off my divorce because my cancer treatment was successful. When I was diagnosed with testicular cancer, he filed for divorce because he said it would be too much to take care of me. In my province, you have to live separately and apart for 1 year before a divorce is granted. Since he left, I've had surgery and chemotherapy and my latest checkup shows no evidence of disease. When he found out that I don't know how, he applied in court to withdraw the divorce application. He told me we can stay married since I'm no longer sick and was actually shocked when I blocked the divorce withdrawal petition through my own lawyer. I don't want to be married to him after what he did. When I had my first appointment with the oncologist a few days after my diagnosis, I was given a warning about how women and men leave their partners when there's an illness, but I never thought it would happen to me. Every person in my support group who was married had it happen to them too. It was eye-opening. I spent almost a year going through treatment. I had surgery, I had chemotherapy, and it almost killed me. But in August of 2022, I was told there was no evidence of disease. I don't know how he found out, but when he did, he wanted to call off the divorce because I had gotten better. He was absolutely shocked when I moved forward with the divorce and did everything he could to drag it out. I'm so glad the court finally saw through his games and now the divorce was made official. 4 years and 6 months after he left, I haven't seen or spoken to him in years and I don't plan to ever again. Still no evidence of disease. I got a great new job with the provincial government. I'm planning a vacation for my 40th birthday. Most importantly, I'm free. And people are going like, happy you got rid of both cancers. Seriously, I think it would have been so eye-opening for her. My crazy co-worker flips out when I talk to her 10 years old daughter about Mulan. I, 19 female, work part-time in childcare at my church with a middle-aged woman. I'll call her Amy, who I thought was very sweet at first until her true self started to show. She has a 10-year-old sheltered, homeschooled daughter who absolutely adores me. I'll call her Elle, and I'm essentially her only friend. Here are some things I've learned about this family when I went over for a play date with Elle. Elle co-sleeps with her parents and doesn't have a bed of her own. They use reusable cloth toilet paper in the bathroom. They're all vegans and the house reeks of spoiled vegetables. Elle isn't allowed to watch certain movies and shows, for example Frozen 2, because it contains spirits. Amy is borderline racist. You know, one of those people who think that they aren't because they have friends who are black. But I noticed that kids in a classroom with different ethnicities always got in trouble way more when I was working with Amy, even if it very clearly wasn't their fault. So yeah, kind of weird and kind of nasty. I started distancing myself from her, but again, her daughter loves me, so it was difficult. Anyway, one day at work, Elle asked me who my favorite Disney princess was, and I said it was either Belle or Mulan. She said, "Who's Mulan?" And I started explaining her the story because Mulan was one of my favorite movies of all time. Amy overheard and pulled me aside, telling me that Elle wasn't allowed to watch Mulan because it promoted feminist and cultural ideals that she didn't want in their household. What? I just kind of laughed and shrugged it off, thinking that was it, until next morning when I received the following text. Good morning. I just wanted you to know that I absolutely adore you. Our views on some social issues are completely opposite, and that's okay. You have been raised a certain way and I've lived a whole life at this point, lol, so our views and beliefs have been shaped differently. Despite that, none of those beliefs change our salvation status with the Lord, and that's what is most important. L isn't exposed to a lot of things for good reason, and some might not just make sense to you, which again is okay. Just know that although we differ in views on certain things, we love you for you and not your political or social views. And I am always open to conversations about both, when it's between you and me. L doesn't need to be around for those chats. You are loved. I hope you have an awesome Wednesday. Oh man, I genuinely feel bad for Elle because she's a sweet kid and loves to read just like I did at her age, but she's extremely limited in what forms of media she's allowed to consume, and she's completely homeschooled. So the only information she's getting is from Amy. No outside opinions or other kids to socialize with. She's the only reason why I haven't cut off completely contact with my insane coworker. These coworker stories are getting out of hand. That's why I'm going to entertain you with one more coworker story, which is absolutely evil. Am I the a-hole for telling my coworker I was miscarrying after she tried to get me in trouble for excessive bathroom use? I, female 26, have a coworker, Mary, whose main goal at work is to get the rest of us in trouble. Today I was apparently the target. When I got home from lunch, my boss asked me to talk and explain how a coworker had complained that I had excessive bathroom use and that she and the other coworkers had to pick up my slack. Excessive was 10 minutes in the 4 hours before lunch, and I took 40 minutes for lunch instead of 30 we are supposed to. I was 8 weeks pregnant when I started miscarrying on Tuesday and called in sick to work. I was off yesterday since I am working Saturday, but decided to come into work today to try and use work to distract myself instead of sitting at home wallowing. I ended up explaining the situation to my boss to end the conversation. She apologized to me and offered me a couple of days off, but I want to be at work to distract myself. After the meeting, Mary was looking extremely smug, clearly thinking she had gotten me in trouble, and I was so angry. So I told her sorry if she was so distracted by me being away from my desk for 20 minutes, but since I was miscarrying, I figured it was fine. Mary looked shocked, but didn't speak or even look at me for the rest of the day. After work, a co-worker I'm friendly with said that while I'm technically right and Mary was completely out of line, I shouldn't have said anything, knowing it would create an uncomfortable work environment. I don't feel like I did anything wrong, and if Mary wants to micromanage everything, she should expect uncomfortable situations to arise. But I also get that Mary isn't the only co-worker this gets uncomfortable for, and I don't want to make things hard for my co-workers I actually get along with. So am I the a-hole for telling Mary I was miscarrying when she tried to get me in trouble and making things uncomfortable at work? I haven't been able to answer a lot of comments as it got pretty overwhelming with everything else, but I saw some things asked repetitively and wanted to give some clarity. First of all, I wanted to thank everyone for the well wishes and condolences. I also saw a lot of people think my boss to talk to get me in trouble, but that is not true. She knew I had called in sick a couple of days before and wanted to check in if I was feeling okay to be at work, or if I needed some more time and wanted to go home instead. A lot of people also asked if I told my other co-workers, and no, I told only my boss and Mary. But we have to do an open layout office, so others could definitely have overheard my conversation with Mary. For the people who wondered what I do for work, I work for an advertising agency. I do mostly photo and video, and the day this happened, I was doing prep for a shoot that I have this week. I'm not currently collaborating with Mary on any projects, so I don't know what slack she could be picking up.